Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. A very happy Friday to you. I am Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Mark Daniels. Thank you for joining us dead early on this fantastic Friday. It's the weekend, folks.
It sure is, and we hope that you've got a great one planned. Mark, before I go any further, unfortunately having to extend condolences to the family of Nelson Knowles this morning on his passing. My Uncle Nelson was a great man, married to a wonderful woman, and my Aunt Jackie. And so just extending all of my condolences to those that would have known and loved him, but especially my Aunt Jackie and my cousins, Gia, Kim, and Anne. May the souls of the faithfully departed through the mercies of God rest in peace and rise in glory.
Yes, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family in this difficult time. And we pray that his memory lives on and that you continue to live his legacy throughout you and the rest of your family.
Indeed. Thank you so much for that, Mark. Mark, you have any special plans this weekend that you're looking forward to?
Well, to be honest, I've been working on a little backyard farm project in the past couple of weeks, and I keep telling people you need to plant your food, put some stuff in your yard, grow something, put on pigeon peas tree there, a banana tree, something, because this idea of self-sustainability and reliance on our food imports, we can solve that problem very easily by if one person on each street just grows one thing. Then that whole street, when it's time to harvest, will have stuff to exchange and barter, and you start to rely on your neighbor a bit differently. So I'm taking it upon myself to start my backyard farm. I'm challenging you to do the same thing.
I love that, Mark. I love that. Well, you guys may know, and I try to brag on Mark all the time that Mark is the top botanist in the Bahamas. He, of course, if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Eleuthera, instrumental in the Leon Navy Preserve there. And so he knows a lot about plants. And so we should take his word for it. If he says we can do it, then we certainly can. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can barter and exchange. No idea what my husband's going in the back there. Oh, we got lots of tomatoes. I'm sure we can make that exchange, Mark.
Great.
Yeah, we've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be talking with the top 2021 BGCSE performer about his achievements. And we're starting our 6-week entertainment series, which is always exciting. We're going to be having a performance by the Encore band, Mark.
That is very exciting. I always love it when there's music and entertainment on the show. Live people up. It's Friday. Get you ready for the weekend. So stay tuned for that. And we're also going to talk to Zhivargo Laing about the Bahamas being ranked as the 3rd most expensive place to live in the world. Wow, I did not know that. And also NACAC is back to tell us how preparations are going for the championships happening next weekend in Grand Bahama. But first, let's get to weather with Brother Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather at sunrise, high pressure continues to be the dominant feature across the islands. We do have a mid to upper level trough that's east of the islands, moving towards the west, will create some shower activity and possible thunderstorms over the central and southeastern islands today, moving into northwest Bahamas by tomorrow. So today, partly sunny, hot and humid, with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms. Most of those activity will be across the central and southeastern islands. High temperature 91 degrees Fahrenheit, heat index 101. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm and muggy, with a few nighttime showers, isolated thunderstorm again, mainly across the central and southeastern islands. Low temperature going down to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados 88 and 79. In Jamaica 89 and 76. In Trinidad 88 and 80. And the Turks and Caicos Islands 90 and 78. Across North America, Atlanta 88 and 70. In Raleigh 81 and 70. Miami 90 and 80. Dallas, Texas 93 and 77. And Toronto, Canada 73 and 61. As you go weekend, pretty good weekend still weather-wise, although we'll have some showers around. A mix of sun and clouds with some showers and possible thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon hours. Although temperature daytime will be around the 90-degree mark, at nighttime in the upper 70s. That puts you off from your thoughts. Look at the weather at sunrise. I'm Dr. Burnside Back to you, Star.
Thanks, Godfrey. Our next guest gave the best overall performance for independent schools in the 2021 BGCSE examinations. He is Queens College graduate Christopher Knowles, and he's also joined by his mother, Dr. Richelle Knowles. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Dr. Knowles and future Dr. Knowles. It's a pleasure to have you both with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Chris, let's get started with you. 13 A's is what you achieved. What was in your mind as you were sitting those examinations? Was that a goal that you set out with? Did you aim to get 13 A's, or was it just a happenstance of strong work ethic and good study habits?
Well, I had aimed to achieve this as I wanted to be the first boy in the Bahamas to set this record and the first one to achieve this goal. But I also wanted to set an example for other young youth and males because for the past couple of years, it's been females who have dominated like exam scores. And I wanted to start like a new trend and show that guys can do it too. But most of all is that I wanted to set myself up in a position to become be the best overall candidate for the All Bahamas Merit Scholarship, as that was my ultimate goal to achieve.
All right. And how did working on this goal of the 13 A's help with that desire to become Bahamas All Merit?
Well, I have not received confirmation or not whether or if I won the scholarship or not, but I feel as though that with achieving such grades that it set me up in a good position to be one of the recipients for the scholarship.
All right. Well, we're hoping for the best for you, trusting that this hard work in achieving one goal will lead to the ultimate goal. And certainly, I just love hearing you talk about, inspiring other young men to do the same, to recognize that you all can still compete at a very high academic level, and certainly to bring this record as a young man. So many goal boxes ticked that we trust that you will just continue to do well. Dr. Richelle, it's our understanding that you also had some incentive behind this. So not only did you support Christopher's goals, but you literally put your money where his mouth was. So talk to us about the monetary incentive that you and your husband offered Christopher.
Oh, well, in our house, we don't give pocket money. So the rule in our house is if you're writing any national exams, like they would have written the GLAT, the BJCs, and now the BGCSEs, if you're doing a national exam and you get all A's, you would get $100 per A. However, if you got a B, then you'd only get $50 an A. So Christopher's middle brother did 9 BJCs and got 9 A's, and he saw his brother the year before get $900. So Chris decided, he needs a $1,300 payday because he had plans for this money, and mainly he wanted to buy a dehydrator for his business so he can make and sell breadfruit flour and coconut flour. And he wanted to dehydrate his products so that he can sell his infused oils. So he really wanted that money to use. So he aimed to get this $1,300, which he did.
I love it. I love learning that you're a businessman and a businessman that seems like you have a lot in common with my co-host, Mark. Mark loves all things natural. And so hearing you talk about, these types of flowers that you're making and these infused oils, you have a lot going for you. But it also means that you have a lot going on. So how did you manage to still try to run your business, be a kid as much as you were at the time, and then still study and prepare for these exams? What was your study routine like, Christopher?
Well, for my study routine, I work best in the night, and so my study times would be between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. as that's when my brain functions at maximum capacity. And so how I would do it is every hour on the hour, I would study for 45 minutes, and then I would take a 15-minute break so as to not burn myself out. And then afterwards, I would sleep. And then if I have classes in the day, I would go to those. And then after school, I would take some leisure time, do whatever homework I have or coursework, and then get back to the books.
All right. I mean, and you sound like you have a routine that works for you. It's so important to know what your prime hours are in order to function and get work done. Those are some unusual hours for the rest of us who like to be asleep that time, Christopher. But I think this is what makes a difference, right? This is how you end up with 13 A's when you know what works for you. Well, Chris, before you and I started talking to the general public, you were telling me that you wanted to be a doctor. You're going to the greatest school ever, the University of Miami, where I just happen to be.
Of course.
So, excuse me for saying that it's the greatest one. But you want to be a doctor, and Dr. Richelle, both you and Christopher's father are both doctors. How have you prepared him or tried to prepare him for the rigors of being a medical school student and then becoming a doctor?
Well, I told Christopher, his father, and I told him that the volume of work will be very expansive. Luckily, Christopher has a photographic memory, so we were teaching him tools and skills on how to utilize his photographic memory and also to cover the massive volume of work he'll have to cover. So the technique was, you have all your topics, especially during the pandemic. This was great because he knew what topics were going to be taught that week in school. So we told him it was imperative that every night he review all the topics going to be taught the next day in school. So that way, when the teacher teaches a topic, it would be very familiar to him, the words, the terms used. And then once he is in class, he's to have a notebook and take notes as the teacher is teaching. So that would be then the second time he's reviewing it. And then that same evening, it's imperative before he goes to bed that he reviews those notes and the topic taught that day. So that will be the third time. And then that weekend, he must review it for a final fourth time. In that way, within 1 week, he would have learned the topic 4 times. And that way it was, with repetition, there's memory. And then he will be able to remember the work. The other technique I taught him, which all doctors know, it's something called see one, do one, teach one. So I told him, you see the work done in the classroom, you do the work, you do the assignments, do the past papers. And then most importantly, after that, to cement it in your brain, you find a student who needs help and you teach them. And in that way, you reinforce what you know, and you also figure out if you don't know anything, and then you could go back and relook at the topic.
This is brilliant strategy. I hope parents with students in exams, I hope even as adults, we're paying attention, right? Like this is how you get new information in and make sure that you're learning it. Thank you for that strategy, Dr. Richelle. I'm going to write that down as soon as we come off air.
See one, do one, teach one.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, Chris. So we learned that today you are an entrepreneur. You're going to be a doctor. Anything else that interests you or that you're really excited about for your future?
Well, I have a great interest in conservation and climate change, which is why I wrote 2 books on the coral reef and the queen conch, as they are vital to not only our economy, but as a tourism product. I am also interested in the health and well-being of our nation, as obesity is a common problem today, which is also why I wrote a recipe book that entails healthy meals that can be made in under 15 minutes. This also goes in conjunction with my YouTube channel, where I promote the awareness as well as showing different ways to prepare local dishes. I'm also very passionate about cooking, and so through like my own business, I produce my own products which can be found at BIC, or which can be ordered directly from me, and they are all organic, homemade, and they include gluten-free breadfruit flour, oat flour, and infused oils, teas, seasonings, iced teas. And I'm also really interested in, like, as a young businessman, I'm also one of the youngest food processors. And so I'm just, I guess, I really like helping, like, I guess it's just, I like to be involved.
Yeah. And I mean, I think what I hear you say is that you like helping people to be healthy from the inside out, right? But to enjoy the things that they're eating by eating something new, learning how to make something new. You're an innovator. That's what it really is. An innovator that also loves the environment and respects it. So Chris, we trust that you're going to go far. We're so amazed by you. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Dr. Richelle, we do have to wrap up, but as we do, would you like to say anything to Chris or to us as parents or those watching, just in celebration of your son?
Yes, I am very proud of Chris that he was able to achieve his academic goals of getting 13 A's and setting a new Bahamian record. I'm also very proud of him figuring out how to self-publish these books and have it sold as paperback and Kindle on Amazon. And I'm so proud to say that his recipe book, Authentic Bahamian Cuisine, is now sold as a tourist product downtown on Bay Street and also in the international airport for tourists to purchase as a souvenir. So we're very proud of him. And most importantly, I'm very happy that the money he got from his business and the sales of his books, he donated to his school, and he started a hurricane relief fund to assist the students from Hurricane Dorian.
Excellent, excellent. Chris, you know that the sky is the limit, as you well know, right? Like, you don't even need these words because you're just so determined and so focused. We just wish every good thing for you as you head off to the University of Miami, and pray that you will take all these lessons of resilience and determination and creativity with you, even as you get to enjoy college and have fun, that you would use these methods taught to you by your parents to continue to focus and to do well. We anticipate just great things happening. Only good things happen to those who come on Bahamas at Sunrise. So we're looking forward to seeing you come back in 10 years with a cure for something or a revolution around something else regarding health for us. But we trust that you will do well. Chris, what is your YouTube channel? I just want to make sure that people can stay connected with you.
It's called Bahamas Boys Adventures.
Bahamas Boys Adventures. All right, so you all know how to stay connected with Chris as he goes on new adventures to university. Dr. Richelle, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to you and your husband on certainly what seems to be some outstanding, successful students that you're raising as parents. And Chris, congratulations to you again from all of us. We wish you both the best. Thank you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, bringing you the brightest and the best. We're going to be back with more after this commercial break.
Join the Click is an initiative started by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions last year when we were trying to figure out how to help business leaders as well as consumers to stay connected. Working with Canoe, working with other partners, working with the government and My Gateway to help them to connect with customers who want to place orders and want to be able to do things in a digital way.
My Gateway. My Gateway is a groundbreaking portal through which clients can request and pay for government services online. We have 28 services. We expect to increase the number of services to a minimum of 200.
I love that we're helping the government and helping our citizens to be more efficient and to use their time more wisely.
I invite you to sign up for mygateway.gov.bs and let us make government work for you. Join the click.
Hello, summer. Escape into summer when you fuel up with Shell. Every time you purchase $20 gas, you're entered to win your share of over $50,000 in cash prizes and fantastic trips, including a staycation at Grand Island Exuma, a shopping spree in Miami, and a 4-day trip to Las Vegas to see John Legend live. To enter, fuel up at Shell with $20. Go to winwithshellbahamas.com and let the fun begin. Say hello, summer with Shell today. Conditions apply. Hello, summer.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are kicking off our 2022 entertainment series with Encore, the band who is here to perform for us. We are so pleased to welcome this dynamic jazz trio of Knowles, Lamont Gibson, and Mark Knowles. Good morning, Encore, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for
Indeed.
having us.
Thank you all so much for being here. Tell us, how did you three come together to form Encore?
Well, it just happened. It was basically inevitable. Lamont and I have been together since Norville the Ark. We grew up together, and Mark is my cousin, so it just worked. An opportunity presented itself. Yeah, it worked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me, how long have you guys been together?
Roughly 4 months. 4 months and maybe 2 weeks. But spiritually, we have always known each other, like she said. So it was kind of easy for us to come together and make everything just kind of work as best as possible in the short space of time.
Okay, good stuff. Now tell us about your sound. You all are a jazz band, but I don't know that Bahamians always have an appreciation for what that means. When you say Encore is a jazz band, what does that really mean?
That means we're a jazz party, we're a fun band, we're different, we're unique. We don't sound like everybody. We're a unique band. Yeah, we have the jazz influence, but we also have our own style, our own thing going on.
Excellent. So tell us, why is this band so important to you all? Why do you love being a part of Encore? He said 4 months and 2 weeks, and he said that with pride and with vim and vigor. That was a statement. Yeah, we've been doing this for 4 months, 2 weeks. So why is it such a joy for you guys to be together as Encore?
Well, you get to share your talent, your craft. Like, we work at it, and what we love to do. If you enjoy it, that makes us feel good. So, yeah, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm told that you all are performing at the Spotlight Lounge tomorrow. Tell us about that. Where is it, and what is that performance like? When is it going to happen exactly tomorrow?
Well, the Spotlight Lounge, first of all, is that's just an iconic place right now because it's a very new spot that was opened up by musicians, Freddie Munnings, Naomi, and Junior Crawford. They opened it's a special place for musicians, and it's so exciting that we're going to be there. We're excited to be a part of this iconic moment, musicians owning their own spot for music and entertainment.
Showcase talent.
Yeah, showcase talent. So
Absolutely.
if you're coming, we invite you on Saturday. I hope to see you there, sir.
Absolutely.
On Saturday, it's on 11 Adelaide Road.
Yes, so it would practically be the first plaza when you come when you pass Coral Harbour, going into as if you were head towards Adelaide.
Okay.
It's right next to a Wines and Spirit grocery. It's easy to find.
Really
it's the
right
first
there.
plaza. It's prime location on the main strip, so you definitely will catch it. You'll see the cars parked up as well.
And what
And
time
the
do you
sign.
guys get started on Saturday?
We're there from 7 to 10.
Excellent. Very last question before you guys get ready to perform for us. You all have traveled, you've lived overseas. Why is it so special for Encore to be together at this time here at home?
There's a lot of that's a really good question, but there's a lot of different reasons. We all, as musicians, had experienced the COVID-19 shutdown, and I think for musicians and entertainers that was a heavy blow for us because we have a talent that we can give to the world, but when that's taken away from you because of a global thing, we kind of see the importance of what we have and what we have here, and it kind of give us the momentum to even push further. And no, we can't take this for granted because this talent of ours, the opportunity to perform can be taken away just like that.
Yes.
So it's kind of the momentum, the fire that has us burning to look ahead and try to make it the best of what we have happening now.
Absolutely. Well, you're here on Bahamas at sunrise, and now it's time to enjoy some beautiful music from the jazz trio Encore. Guys, take it away.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. You know in that hotline bling that can only mean one thing. You know in that hotline bling that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you got a reputation for yourself now. Everybody knows I feel left out. Girl, you got me down, you got me stressed out. 'Cause ever since I left the city, you started wearing less and going out more. Glasses of champagne out on the dance floor, hanging with some girls I've never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone night when you need my love, call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love, you know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. You know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you and me, we just don't get along. You make me feel like I did you wrong, going places where I don't belong. Ever since I left the city, you got exactly what you asked for, running out of pages on your passport, hanging with some girls I've never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone, late night when you need my love, call me on my cell phone, late night when you need my love. You know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. You know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. You know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. You know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing.
In the Bahamas, small business is big business. More than 90% of the businesses in the Bahamas are classified as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center was created to serve them. We at the Access Accelerator offer a variety of services to our clients: business advisory services, training and entrepreneurial programming, mentorship and incubation, and advocacy.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this fabulous Friday. I'm Anastasia Palacios. Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, thanks for staying with us. We're here at the Mid Show. Great show so far, Star. I totally enjoyed that interview with the student. Man, he is amazing. First of all, that jacket, I need to find out where he shopped for that, man. Might not fit me, but that was a cool blue that he had on. And such a great character, such amazing drive. Definitely an inspiration to anyone who would have watched that interview. So congratulations, young man. You have bright things ahead of you in your future, and a testament to what happens when your parents, when you and we as parents pour into our children intentionally.
Yeah,
Good job.
it was absolutely phenomenal. You know, you just kind of wonder where people find all the time that they do, because he's
Right.
doing so many things, written 3 books, and baking different types of flour, teaching people how to cook online, and still staying up between 12 and 4 a.m. to study and get 13 A's. I don't know how he's doing it, but more power to him. Definitely excited about his future. And when you see young people like that, Mark, it's just a reminder that, country is in very good hands. And so we congratulate him and his parents again.
Yes. And I enjoyed the Encore band in our entertainment section, that rendition of Hotline Bling. I think that's stuck in my head now. So definitely gonna be looking out for the Encore band. And you as our viewers, look out for our entertainment series every Friday for the next 6 weeks. We're gonna be showcasing wonderful talent, bringing you some vibes for the weekend.
Indeed, we will. Well, we've got more to come. The vibes are still coming. We're going to be learning about, what's happening with us in terms of the cost of living in this country. A great conversation we expect to have with Zhivargo Laing about that. We're the third most expensive country in the world. I mean, you can tell this. I can tell you that, Mark. What I spend in the food store on a weekly basis is absolutely absurd. And so certainly we're going to be learning more about that in just a minute.
And definitely looking forward to the other segment where NACAC is back to talk about the track and field championships happening in Grand Bahama. Our Bahamian athletes are going to be showcased, and so definitely looking forward to that segment. However, before we get there, we need to check in with Brother Godfrey Burnside a second time on the weather for the weekend.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather sunrise, the tropics. The tropic this morning is quiet, and the tropical cyclone formation expected during the next 5 days. A local scene, high pressure is weakening across the islands. We have that mid-upper level troughing that's to the east, moving towards the west. Will increase our shower activity over the weekend, particularly in the central and southeastern islands. In the marine forecast today, those winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the northwest Bahamas, 15 to 20 knots sea for the southeast of central southeastern islands. But those winds will be decreasing come this afternoon. On Saturday, those winds are variable 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 15 knots, sea 2 to 5 feet for the central and southeastern islands. On Sunday, those winds become southeast to south at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the northwest Bahamas, continuing east to southeast at 15 knots, sea to 5 feet for the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 8:34 this morning. Next low tide will be at 2:43 this afternoon. High gain tonight at 9:03. Sunset 7:46 this evening. Rising at 6:42. UV index 9. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon phase, full moon. As you go this weekend, high pressure weakens, and that mid-level trough moves across the islands, will elevate the rain chances across the islands on the weekend. So we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds for the most part, still hot and humid, with a few showers, maybe a nice little thunderstorm. Those will be mainly during the afternoon hours, and those temperatures daytime be around the 90-degree mark, at nighttime in the upper 70s. That would drop me a far look as well as sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Godfrey. Numbeo, the world's largest cost of living database, ranked the Bahamas as the third most expensive place to live in the world, right behind Bermuda and Switzerland. Here to talk with us about this is Zhivargo Laing, former F&M cabinet minister and Guardian radio talk show host. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Mr. Laing.
Good morning, and most importantly, the executive director of the Government and Public Policy Institute at University of Bahamas, so they don't think I'm dissing my job.
Right. Well, thank you for that addition. Yeah. So we had a topic that made my head kind of hurt this morning when I read it. Right. Talking about the Bahamas being the third most expensive place to live in the world. So we know the Bahamas is expensive, but are we this expensive? Third most worldwide?
Well, first of all, Numbeo is a respected site for cost of living information, but actually that listing isn't saying that the Bahamas is the third most expensive country in the world. What the listing is saying is, if you compare the Bahamas cost of living to living in New York, it's saying the Bahamas is 20% less expensive to live in as compared to New York. It says that Bermuda example, as an example, is 40% more expensive. Then somebody else is 12% more expensive. And then the Bahamas is 20% less expensive. And then it goes down the list to say who's less expensive than the Bahamas and so forth. So, than New York. So it's a list comparing living in a country compared to New York, because the United States is on the list. Right. So the United States is listed as having a 40% less expense to live than in New York. Right? Which means if you're living in Tennessee or you're living in one of those more rural areas of the United States, one of the less opulent states, it's less expensive than New York. So it's a comparison between New York and the countries. That same site, Numbeo, does have a list of countries by index, and the Bahamas does not make the top 10.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
that's good to know. You explained that to us. So how exactly was this number tabulated? What factors would be evaluated for this list that they produce?
And that's another important thing to remember. When you're looking at cost of living anything, comparisons, you really have to be careful. Because remember, my cost of living is a question of my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Somebody else's cost of living is a question of their lifestyle. So you and I can have the same income, but I could decide to live at a price point nearer to somebody whose income is 40% less than mine. So I don't, rather than have a $1,500, $1,800 apartment, I might choose to live in a $900 apartment. Rather than buy Kerrygold butter, I might decide to buy a butter that's cheaper and less tasty. Rather than buy Captain Crunch, I might decide to buy post-frosted flakes. So cost of living isn't what it takes to live as a matter of survival. It's a question of cost of lifestyle. So they pick a price point and they look at rents, they look at food costs, they look at transportation, et cetera. Now, Numbeo is peculiar because what Numbeo is doing is taking data every day inputted by its subscribers.
Right.
And then tabulating a cost of living. So at any given point in time, you can go on that site and it will change from day to day.
So if we were to look at the cost of living in the Bahamas and compare it to other nations that are comparable to us, and we're comparing apples and apples, would you consider the Bahamas an expensive place to live? And if so, what could we do to adjust that high cost of living?
Well, that's not a simple question. And we have at the Government and Public Policy Institute, we have looked at the cost of living in the Bahamas because that's how we came up with the living wage, right? And again, that's having decided what a reasonable wage is for a particular lifestyle. And I think it's reasonable to say that compared to many countries, we are more expensive to live in. But remember, expensive is a matter of income. The question was asked to me before the show, because that same Numbeo site does also have an index for income. And so when you look at Switzerland being 40% more expensive to live in than New York, but the income of people in Switzerland are 30%, let's say, more higher than the people on average in New York, the net difference is 10% because they can afford more. And so it matters to your affordability. One of the things you will notice about all the expensive places in the world is their quality of life is higher than all the ones below them for the most part. So you pay a price to live the quality material existence that you live. And so yes, it's expensive, but how expensive is a matter of a person's income.
Right.
To the people who live in Albany, it might be expensive, but not that expensive. To people who live over the hill, it's very expensive depending on the material lifestyle that they desire to live.
So how much weight do these types of rankings hold, let's say in the international or local investment community? If somebody wants to invest money in the Bahamas, do they look at this type of ranking for the cost of living to decide whether or not they choose to invest, or is there another metric that tends to get investors excited?
They do not. Actually, these sites are more for people seeking to relocate. So if you are an expat seeking to relocate in a territory and you want to know, here's my income, which territory will put me in a similar stead to the one I'm in, then you get to look at sites like that. And it's only one. They look at many sites that can give them this kind of comparison. That's the most it's used for. An investor is looking at particular costs related not to his living, but to the operations that he or she is doing. And the main metric they're looking at is profitability. Can I have a profitable operation in the Bahamas compared to the risk I'm prepared to take? And they look at things like your labor cost and your electricity costs, et cetera. And again, they may come up with the notion that you are too expensive for them, but that depends on the business. A business that's manufacturing needing cheap labor is probably not going to locate in the Bahamas, but a financial services firm needing quality labor for high-end customers might decide to do so.
So speaking again about the cost of living in the Bahamas, there was a comment recently by Central Bank Governor John Roll who said the cost of living crisis facing many Bahamian families is yet to peak. What is your view on this in terms of how this is impacting everyday Bahamians, the cost of living?
Well, the cost of living is definitely impacting Bahamians, but it's not, it's not impacting Bahamians solely as a matter of the increase in cost, because we have never had a time in this country per se when the cost has been going down. It's in the world, cost goes up. That's just that's the nature of development, is that cost goes up. What is happening in the Bahamas is the pace of people's income is not keeping up with the cost increases. And so people are finding an erosion on their purchasing power because things are getting more expensive, but their incomes are staying basically the same. And that's the reality that we have to fix. We're not going to reverse cost increases. We're not going to fix that. We have to fix people's ability to earn more through higher productivity and better employment generating and income generating opportunities.
So what are some of those strategies? You just mentioned some of them there. You talk about employment opportunities, income generating opportunities. Do we have a clear path to, close this gap between the cost of living and the income of the everyday Bahamian?
Well, let's start with the one thing that's in the power of every Bahamian, right? You have got to determine what you can afford to live on. Okay, that's the reality. I mean, like, some people are living at basically a situation where they've done all they could do to cut costs and therefore live within their means. But lots of us are drinking 2 and 3 vitamins a day, drinking sodas every day, drinking Starbucks coffee. We are, running up and down, aimlessly using up gas. We're not considerate of all the costs generated by our behavior and preferences and indiscipline. So we can do something about that, and that might help curb some of that cost that we are incurring. On the other hand, we definitely have to ramp up our investment in this country by both Bahamians and foreigners, right? We have to, and when I say we, I'm talking about Bahamians who are entrepreneurs, have to find or keep searching for innovative, creative things that they can do in this economy. Non-Bahamians have to be attracted to the economy. So we have to be out there telling the world our story and getting them, because that is what generates economy. Have to be more productive. We have to put more out per hour in order to get more. And that will help generate the kind of enthusiasm and income and activity that makes us all more prosperous.
That's some great advice. And I'm glad that you talked me down from the cliff, because when I read third most expensive place in the world, I was ready to pack my bags, right? But as you explained, there are different metrics that are used, and the information from this site, more so for expats, people looking to, examine the lifestyle in the country where they're getting ready to move. But you offered also, again, some great advice on how we as Bahamians, we need to look at what we spend, look at our lifestyle, do some financial planning. And that's what we can control. And then we look forward to the government and other institutes like at UB that are looking at this issue and will help to offer solutions to the public, so that we're not left in a case where the cost of living prevents us from enjoying our own country on our own shores.
Yeah, because to be sure, again, you are not, if you look at world data, costs are never in general going down. So expect it to keep going up. From time to time, it goes up faster than at other times, but it's always going up. And so the extent to which you can't control that, you control the things you can control, which is your own behavior.
I love that. Thank you, Zhivargo Laing. You've brought some very calming and inspirational words this morning, and we look forward to more coming out of you, coming out of UB and your institute. And thank you again for joining us on Moms at Sunrise. Talking about the cost of living, manage yourself, manage your pocket, and things will be all right. Thank you again for joining us this morning, Mr. Laing.
You're welcome, anytime.
You're watching Moms at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Hello, summer. Escape into summer when you fuel up with Shell. Every time you purchase $20 gas, you're entered to win your share of over $50,000 in cash prizes and fantastic trips, including a staycation at Grand Island Exuma, a shopping spree in Miami, and a 4-day trip to Las Vegas to see John Legend live. To enter, fuel up at Shell with $20. Go to winwithshellbahamas.com and let the fun begin. Say hello, summer with Shell today. Conditions apply. Hello, summer.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. The NACAC, that is the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Championships, are happening at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex in Grand Bahama next week, August 18th to the 21st. Here to tell us more, we're so happy to be speaking today with Norris Bain. He's the Deputy Managing Director for NACAC, and Perez Cooper, who's the Chairman of the NACAC Local Organizing Committee. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you both. So excited that these games are coming to Grand Bahama. I'm sure the stadium is being perked up and everyone home is excited about that. How many athletes will be competing at these games in Grand Bahama?
Well, at this championship, we expect 471 athletes to come in town from the NACAC region. First of all, let me explain a little bit what NACAC is. NACAC is North America, Central America, and Caribbean. So we have countries ranging from Canada all the way down to Central America and Caribbean. So we expect countries like America is sending 98 athletes, and Jamaica is sending about 45. So we expect a large contingency of elite athletes.
Yeah, my husband and I had gone to the Olympics in Brazil a couple of years ago and met a coach from Mexico. And he has been contacting us, talking about coming to Grand Bahama, looking for the best hotels. And so certainly people in the region and in this grouping are very excited about what it means to be coming to the Bahamas and Grand Bahama in particularly. Talk to us about the preparations that go into this, because to have all of those people coming into town, I'm sure is no easy feat. What have you all been doing to prepare for their arrival?
Well, of course, that we have Bahamas Air on board. So we're chartering several flights that will be coming into Grand Bahama, which will be good for our local economy in terms of the tourist dollar being spent in the and the straw markets, and also taxi drivers. And then, of course, the people that run tourist attractions will benefit for short term. But the stadium is definitely going through an overhaul. I mean, it's looking really good, and I expect the aesthetic of it to really change in the next couple of days. Even today, what we saw yesterday is going to change as it relates today. So there's a lot of work going into it. Ground transportation. We have people working with the hotel. We have 2 games. We have a games village where we got Breakers Point, Breakers Key, where all the athletes will be staying, and then Lighthouse Point, where you get the NACAC family, and of course all the VIPs, the Prime Minister, the ministers of the government also. So we're planning a major celebration for Team Bahamas this coming Wednesday as well. So lots going on right now behind the scenes, trying to pull off perhaps the greatest track and field meet in that this region has ever seen.
That's so exciting. And of course, just exciting to hear that this is happening in Grand Bahama, and the fact that it will be, even if only for a short time, a stimulus in the economy, which we know Grand Bahama desperately needs. We talk about all these athletes coming in, the need to charter flights, the celebration of our own outstanding world athletes. How big of an event is this in the sporting world?
So in the sporting world, this is the area championships. They have about 4 areas in world athletics. So there's the Asias, there's the Africas, there's the European, and then there's the NACAC region. The NACAC region is definitely one of the most dominant as far as athletics. If you look at the champions, especially in the sprints, jumps, and throws, they tend to come from that area. So in the grand scope of things, there are 4 area championships in the world, and this is one of them. So it's not just like we're having a meet where international people are coming. We're having a meet, an area championship that's equivalent to only events that's bigger than this is world championships and Olympics.
Wow. Will we be able to see it? Because I'm thinking about the stadium, and I'm wondering about seating. Will we actually be able to come in and watch these athletes? Will the games be open to the public?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, certainly. There's
so we have we're going over, like Mr. Bain said earlier, a large hall of the stadium. Like what you saw yesterday won't be today, and what you see today won't be tomorrow. So we're in the midst of going through the last finishing pieces. We're bringing additional bleacher seating. We'll have stadium seating. We have tickets available now at the sports complex. We're trying to make it. We want to bring the world-class event here. So not just in form of, it's a track meet. We want to make hospitality. We want to bring the Bahamian hospitality. We want to make sure the venue is good. We want to make it not just a track meet. We want it to be an event. So We're going to do our best to have a great opening ceremony. We're going to do a lot of stuff like Mr. Bain said. We're also going to have a welcome reception for our Bahamian team. So we want it to be an event that helps move things in Grand Bahama. But like you said, even if it's just for about 5 days.
That's awesome. And Mr. Bain, just wanted to add to that. I mean, certainly it sounds like you all are going all out for this. I'm a Grand Bahama girl myself, so I know how we do things in the second city. But I really want to see the Bahamians run. Is there like a timetable where I could see? I mean, Andrew DeGrasse coming from Canada, or my girl Shelly Ann from Jamaica. That'd be good too. But I want to be out there in my aqua black and gold when we run. How do we know who is running, like from the Bahamian team, and when those races will take place?
We have a schedule. We do have a schedule that we definitely need to make public. But the event starts actually Friday morning. Okay. And then it runs, we'll have an evening session on Friday. Then we have an evening session on Saturday, and also an evening session on Sunday. But like Perez was saying, this is more than a track meet, because we're turning the parking lot of the stadium into a cultural village where you can go out and get all sorts of Bahamian food. And Bahamian entertainment will be on display as well. But in addition to that, you talk about the level of persons, the level of athletes that are coming here. We're talking about, we can confirm that the world champion in the 200 meters, female world champion, Sharika Jackson will be here. We can confirm that Brianna Williams will be here. And then, of course, we got our own Shawnee Miller, world champion, who's won at every level. And that's got to be exciting for Bahamians to see a young lady of this status perform right here on our island and in our country. And so this could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so the Grand Bahamian populace certainly don't want to miss it. And then I don't want to leave out people like Donald Thomas, 8 Mile Rock Boy, and of course, Alonzo Russell, from the St. Vincent de Paul area, that area. So we need all those people to come out, get your tickets, shout, screams, bring your cowbell, your whistles, your junkanoo drums, bring them out there. And let's light the stadium.
Yeah. So Coach Bain, you would say then that Grand Bahamians are excited about this, that they're looking forward to it.
Well, Grand Bahama has been dubbed track country. And so now we can't just talk it, we got to show it. And so we're expecting the stadium to be filled. I'm expecting Perez and I to have to go out and find more seating because there'll be so much people want to get into the stadium. We want to make sure that this leaves a lasting impression, not only in the minds of Grand Bahamians and Bahamians, but the 30 plus countries that might be coming. We want them to talk about this for years to come. And so that's why it's so important for the government. And we want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, led by the Honorable Mario Boleg, and then also the Ministry of Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, who are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that this event is something that persons will not soon forget. And also by the government of the Bahamas for seeing the value of having sporting events that can help in the turnaround for the island of Grand Bahama.
Excellent. All right, Mr. Cooper, you got to let us know how we can get the tickets, though, because I know I happen to be coming home next weekend. I got to be there. So I need to know how I can get these tickets now because I don't want to miss anything. Let us know how we can do that.
Okay, so before we go to the tickets, I want to know, we have a Instagram page, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, and we have a website, NACAC Championship 2002, so we can get any further information. But as it stands right now, we have a box office at the sports complex. So anybody could come down to the sports complex between the hours of 10 and 5 o'clock every day until the event comes, and you can get your tickets right there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming and sharing with us this morning. I know y'all up, y'all got preparations to be made, things to do. So we thank you for taking just a couple of minutes to talk with us. Congratulations to you and to the team executing this magnanimous event. And we wish you all the best, knowing that it's going to be just pure excellence, a Bahamian and Grand Bahamian on top of that. And so we know that it's going to do incredibly well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
That's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll be back with more on Monday. I was going to say next week. Yeah, on Monday. Make it a great weekend.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Get outside, get some sun on your face, get some rain on your skin, and put a seed in the ground. Plant something. See you on Monday.
Bye.